Alright, so for Unit 21 in Linguistics, I have a few things here. First of all, the three different types of meaning that researchers have found are referential meaning, social meaning, and affective meaning. Referential meaning is the idea, thing, or state of affairs described by the sign or sentence. Like, as the book says, whenever somebody signs cat, everybody thinks, oh, it's a small four-legged mammal with fur and whiskers. Whenever they sign chair, it's something usually sat around a table with four legs and a back, sometimes with a cushion on it, that you sit on. When they sign California, it is the state on the westernmost part of the United States with the Pacific Ocean even more to the west, and then Oregon above it, Mexico below it, Nevada to the side, all of that stuff. So referential meaning, it makes the sign makes a reference to something specific that you can point at and be like, that is a thing that I'm signing, that I'm trying to tell you about. Then there is social meaning. Signs and sentences also provide information about the social meaning. For example, certain choices of signs may reveal where the person is from, whether the person is male or female, whether the person is African American or Caucasian. Um, to illustrate this, imagine someone signing awful with the strong hand pointing forward, like in figure 86, like that. The book says that is more of a feminine way of signing awful. And, you know, it's kind of like how, male, female, white, black people will speak differently. The same thing goes with signs. Like, in just about any language you'll see, um, you know, males and females speak just even slightly differently. White people and black people speak just slightly differently. It's something that's common throughout all languages, which might not, it might not be something that you expect from sign language. You just think, oh, everybody signs the same way. But I mean, like for example, this is uh, apparently most men sign deaf like this from the chin to ear, and most women sign deaf from ear to chin. It's just one of those little things that actually doesn't matter because the meaning still gets across. But it's just one of those little things that can really help you tell if they are male, female, white or black, or anything else like that. Excuse me. And then there is affective meaning. Affective meaning provides information about the signer's feelings, attitudes, or opinions concerning a piece of information, rather. Um, the book says, if someone were to say, Alice, rather, explained to me about her fascinating research, obviously, the person saying that sentence is interested in what Alice has to say. But if the person were to say, Alice boasted to me about her boring old project again, it ain't that hard to tell that they are fed up with it. um, excuse me. It's just different ways to speak, different words you use, your attitude toward whatever the subject may be. And it's easy to integrate that into signs as well as just speak. Then, next, there is denotation and connotation. The referential meaning of a sign or sentence is often called its denotation, while the social and affective meaning is often called connotation. The difference between denotation and connotation can be illustrated with two signs in ASL that can be glossed as def. The sign def that is made with a one-hand shape that moves straight down from the ear to the chin, or I guess vice versa, that works as well. What was I? Denotes someone's audiological status and has a fairly neutral connotation. However, the form of the sign that is produced with a slow arc movement with a puffed cheek, while still denoting someone's autological status, also conveys the message that that person is a full-fledged member of the deaf community. Now, if it's just the basic sign, it is denotation. It's just referential meaning. That means a deaf person, someone who can't hear, maybe somebody who's also in the deaf community. But if it's like deaf, they are completely involved in the deaf community, that is social and affective meaning. Excuse me. Sorry. It's just little like facial expressions, little non-manual signals can change the meaning of a sign like that. Excuse me. Then there is, lastly, relationships between lexical items. Users of a language know the phonological, morphological, and syntactic rules of their language, and they also know many individual words or signs. The collection of words or signs that they know is called the lexicon. Each relationship. For hyponymy, there's, there's a number of different relationships. Hyponymy, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Part-whole relationships, synonymy, antonymy, converseness, and metaphor. Um, Hyponymy is, it says in the book, consider signs blue, red, green, yellow, purple, pink, black, white, all those, my goodness, sorry. Whenever somebody sees those signs or hears those words, they instantly know, oh, that's a color. But there's also the sign for color, which groups all the different colors, blue, yellow, green, brown, black, white, all of them, groups them all together in that category of color. Excuse me. That is the hyponymy. It's signs of, like, the actual name for a category, like, let's say, pets, and then different types of pets, birds, cats, dogs, skunks, I don't know, but, excuse me, that's pretty much, hyponymy, relationship, I don't know. Anyways, there is part-whole relationship next. Excuse me. Another meaning is for sign, for, let's say, like the book says, parts of the body, like hand and arm. It's not a hyponymy type meaning. I have no idea how to say that. But there is, a hand is not a type of arm. It is an extension of the arm. It's connected. And whenever somebody thinks of an arm, they usually think of a hand on the end of it. But it's not a type of arm. The arm is an arm. It's not part of a hand. Yeah, anyways, excuse me. Hyponymic, that's the word. Sorry. Excuse me. It is, excuse me. An arm includes a hand. Another example might be the relationship between the signs phonology and linguistics, because phonology is a part of linguistics. Excuse me. The meaning of the sign linguistics includes the meaning of the sign phonology. Next is synonymy. We describe two signs as synonymous if they mean the same thing. That's in quotes. I don't know how much that matters, but anyways. When we say two words or signs mean the same thing, we are generally talking about their referential meaning. Excuse me, like the book says, most English speakers would agree that the words sofa and couch mean the same thing, that soda and pop refer to the same thing. All these different things, they are synonymous. They mean the same thing. Excuse me. In ASL, deaf signed with a one-hand shape, like this, has the same referential meaning of audiological status as deaf signed with an A hand shape at the end, ear, opening to a five-hand shape. However, the two signs have very different social and affective meaning. Same referential meaning, because these both refer to the same thing, a deaf person involved in the deaf community. But the, what was it? The social and affective meanings are very different, because this sign is, like it said earlier in the book, it's a neutral sign that is, it's acceptable for hearing new signers to use. However, this one is reserved pretty much for completely deaf ASL. What's the word? For ASL native users. But I need to move on because I'm staying a long time. Anyways, autonomy and antonymy, rather, describes a relationship between the two signs that are opposite in meaning, and it's usually a binary relationship. It can only describe the relationship between two signs at a time. Two basic kinds of it: gradable and non-gradable. Those signs large and small, those are gradable because, like the book says, a cucumber is larger than a pea, but it's smaller than a pumpkin. So the same cucumber can be both large and small depending on the context. However, dead and alive, Those are two completely different things. You cannot be both at the same time. It's either one or the other. Like a cucumber can be larger and smaller at the same time, you cannot be dead and alive at the same time. That's pretty much what that is meaning. But yeah, those are just some things that I picked up from this book. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here because I've already been talking for too long. I got really close to the camera there. Anyways, yeah, I obviously being, I mean, most of these things I already knew existed, but it's nice to be able to draw attention to them, like whenever you're signing, whenever you're interpreting, whenever you're speaking, even just being able to know, like, hey, there's a word for this. There's this type of relationship in the words. There's a type of meaning to all of this. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop here.